Artosis. I'm glad your heart started working again right when we began this broadcast.
I die in between StarCraft games.
Every time in between the commercial break, Artosis dies, and I have to bring him back to life.
The spark of life only enters my veins when StarCraft is about to start.
I cry the tears of esports passion, and it comes down and lands on Artosis and brings him back.
Passion of the taste.
That's right.
And on the third day of GSL, Artosis rose again.
Have you ever wonder, like, some of those movies where it's like, you know, one of the heroes dies and then somebody like comes over and cries over the body and then the tears come back and they just like come back to life, and I'm like, even when I was a kid I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, does that work?
All about.
All right, guys, we're going to go into our final match, and this is the revenge match. Dark was defeated by Curious, but does Curious have a robust and dynamic enough Zerg versus Zerg game to defeat Dark again?
Well, does Dark really have anyone that loves him enough to come and cry over his discarded body to make him come back?
The tears have to fall on him, yeah.
Curious.
That happened in the Matrix too, wasn't it? Like Trinity's like dead, or was it Neo's dead? And they he's like, oh no, please don't die. And then he comes back to life, and I'm like, what? They're not even in the Matrix at this part of the movie. Like, how does he come back?
The power of love. I don't know.
Oh yeah. Oh, power of love. My bad. Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Jeez. Love can overcome all obstacles. Do you even, like, read cheesy Valentine's cards? Come on.
Sorry about that. Time to use the power of our love. StarCraft 2. We're going into the final match. Curious versus Dark. Let's see if Dark can get his revenge, or if Curious truly is a better ZVZ player. In the bottom left, in the blue, he is Curious. In the upper right, in the red, he is Dark. A lot of Dark fans in the audience.
It's, you know, I like Curious a lot. He's a very strong Zerg and has been for so long. But he's not someone you expect to win a GSL.
Artosis.
Yes.
Dark is once again going for the hatch before the pull. We've only seen Dark win games where he goes pull first.
Yeah,
he might be trying to mix it up in this best of 3.
Between the two builds, like, it's a pull first for Curious with no gas, so he definitely can put some pressure on with that. It could just be a little bit of an economic and safe opener and get some extra queens and whatnot, but we'll see what Curious wants to do with this. His expansion is not too late.
So, if you're joining us a little bit later on today, first of all, shame on you, you're late. But second of all, you then missed the other ZVZ that we saw. So the only game that Dark has won against Curious, he went for a very quick pool, managed to take out the hatchery that Curious had, and then when Dark was in the lead, he went for a Nidus Network and ran him over, which was pretty cool. I think a lot of times we think of Nidus Network as like either you're both even and you're trying to pull the rug out from under them, or maybe you got behind and you don't know how you could possibly engineer a comeback, so you go all in with that. But in this case, Dark gets ahead, and then while the other player is trying to keep every corner of his base covered, he gets blindsided by this rush. But as far as the standard ZVZ games go, the rest of them, Curious just outplayed Dark straight up and won that best of 3, and now we're in the revenge match.
It was really well done by Curious and might be able to just do it again. Of course, Dark has to be feeling pretty good about himself after just dismantling Super 2-0. That was really a one-sided series. All the series tonight were quite good, except for maybe that one. I won't be rewatching that one, Tasteless.
Yeah. So the Baneling's Nest is going down now. It's over here at the natural for Dark. Link speed's almost done.
Yeah, much quicker speed here. Curious skipping speed, in fact. Looks like he wants to go a little bit more economy heavy here. But if Dark pulls the trigger, Curious has not even started a wall yet, but he put his Creep Tumor in such a place that he can wall in with Evos and a Roach Warren.
That's right. It's important to note that generally in ZVZ, Dark is the initiator and usually has a very good exchange at the start, keeps an advantage, and closes it out. So it's interesting to see that the games where Dark does not play that style, he does lose, at least so far, versus Curious.
Now the Scouting Ling sees just the building Evo and the Roach Warren. So he's actually droning pretty heavily behind this, getting his own, going for layer. So all of his tech is a little bit slower, but it's not really that big of a deal, to be honest. Like, yeah, okay, we might get Roach speed a little bit quicker for Curious, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Dark hasn't taken any severe economic damage this game. That's definitely something we saw a little bit before in the last series.
It doesn't appear that Dark wants to do any initiating just yet. He has the tools to do so, but is instead just teching up going forward. We'll have to watch and see when the third base is acquired for both sides, and if they want to play the defense game or the offense game. If you do take your third base, generally it's going to be the one that's hugging the side of the map. It looks like we're going to see that with Curious here. And even though there's two areas that you can attack into, you can attack into this area where the Lings are now running away from, or you can attack up at the top where Curious's expansion is, but it's not easy to move between the two.
Yeah, it takes a little bit.
If you're moving around one, usually it's easier for them to get there and block you out.
Now look at this. This is interesting. Dark is going for a rather quick Spire, but he's still getting some Roaches +1 and Roach speed. So, if he just blocks scouting with this, the thing is, Curious will see that there's Roaches. He will see that, it's not hard to scout the front of the wall and see that there are upgrades on the way, and you know what those upgrades are because everyone goes Roaches early. So this could catch him off guard, this Spire.
Yeah, an unusual tech timing here from Dark. Let's see how well the other player can respond here. Curious, again, it had better straight-up games. If they both had all their tech up and had the opportunity to attack, it was like Curious that just had much cleaner engages, always came out on top. In fact, there were times that it seemed like it would be unwise for Dark to attack in the previous series, and he ended up overextending and doing just that.
Curious is moving out now with a group of Roaches. Does have more than Dark, but Dark's making some more as well. His Spire's about to finish. He has these Queens also. So I don't foresee any damage occurring right now to Dark. Curious just kind of posturing, making sure his opponent is making Roaches.
You can see for the time being, the mutas are now being teched up into. Does he want to show the mutas right away, or does he want to pool a few? I guess he's only getting 5, so he's going to send those out initially.
I think you literally just beeline them to like the main base or the third base, and you just, as quickly as you can, you try to take out some drones.
Yeah, and then from there you go back, you try to take out Overlords and Overseers, or you take out the Overseer first, okay?
Yeah, or I'm just completely wrong. He's just going to clear Overlords with them. Well, this does force kind of an interesting thing out of Curious, right? Because he's just got Roaches right now. I guess you could try to attack with just Roaches because your opponent spent a lot on Mutas, but Mutas will deal damage to the Roaches. You're closer to the rallies of Dark if you're attacking into him. So, this kind of forces him, like, does he go into Infestors? Does he want to just utilize Queens? Maybe a Hydralisk Den?
Well, one thing to note about, going Infestors, there's a reason why Zerg doesn't make a lot of the Mutas at once. He only makes enough that he can kill stuff if the Zerg isn't respecting the air.
Yeah.
But then he switches right away into anything else because, if you get Infestors, you're just going to fungal that and kill it. So you want to have that bare minimum.
That's right. And 5, you don't even want to use Infestors. Queens can cover the Roaches fine against just 5 mutas. Of course, it is a little bit slow moving. Overlord speed on the way here for Dark. Just continuing to go around. I love this. Picking off some creep tumors. That's really cool.
Queens coming up here. These mutas are going to have to back off.
Curious is going into a Hydralisk Den, so that's going to be his anti-air for now. Burrow movement coming out of Curious. Moving across the map right now with a couple groups.
Do note that right now Dark is taking an expansion, and Curious has not done that. And part of that's because these mutas are keeping the Zerg honest back at home. But here comes that Roach harass. Oh my god, and he's leaving right at that moment. It looks like he actually pulled all the Roaches away, which means these Roaches can come in here and do a lot of damage killing off these workers. It looks like we're going to have 3 kills already.
Yeah, I actually really wonder, because you had Roaches here, and that looked like either it was an all-army hotkey to deal with those other Roaches or something. Like, if you see Burrow movement Roaches, you know that they're in 2 places, not 1. Yeah. Especially on a map like this. Okay, gonna catch these ones coming back.
Now, you got to be careful when you're doing this as Curious. The idea is really good, but if you hemorrhage too many of the Roaches, then you're just throwing units away, and Dark's going to have a much stronger army later on. Uh-oh. Can he get these drones over here?
Yeah, looks like he should be able to pick a few of them off at least.
It's really easy to one-shot these if you have 3 Roaches. So he takes out those 3 drones, and now he's going to try to run back out. That was...
I love it. so fast on the ground nowadays.
Yeah.
Imagine how quickly they must be digging. They must be just so strong. If
Oh,
their
yeah, those claws are just
going to
be raw.
Yeah, like if these tunneling claws can dig that quickly, I feel like once you upgrade the tunneling claws, you should probably just make roaches into a melee unit because it definitely does more damage than this stupid acid.
That's a really good point.
Like, they're moving Earth here. Like, sometimes they burrow into the metal of a space station and still move at that speed.
That's a really good point.
Are you kidding me?
They've got, like, the movement little claws that those worms and Tremors had.
Yeah.
Remember that? Remember that movie?
That's
a little
an
blast
old
from
one.
the past.
God. I need to rewatch some of those old ones.
Okay, he's coming in now. It looks like Dark's beginning to force Curious back. Keep in mind that Dark does have a better macro engine with an operational fourth base.
Now, these Hydras, though, the longer that they are sitting behind the Roaches and dealing out their damage, they deal it very quickly. But Dark has a giant army right now with some great biles coming down. The bottom, though, Curious starts to win, coming up, flanking into these.
I think Dark's going to close this out. There's 26 Roaches being made right now to 14. And it looks like Dark still wins this fight up here at the top. And if Curious loses this base, the game's basically over. Dark's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger.
And all of this comes back to the fact that he made 5 Mutalisks that forced Curious into this Hydralisk tech, and Dark is just able to outmass him.
Yeah, and here comes the next wave of Roaches. Curious desperately trying to hang on, but I don't know if he's going to be able to keep this hatchery in the game.
No, definitely that should end up falling. He's trying to rally down, but as Dark has more and more units come up, I mean, Curious is throwing down some biles, but I'm surprised he doesn't actually fall back really defensively here. There's no chance, I think, for him to actually hold. Yeah,
there's no way. And pretty ambitious of him. He actually transfers drones here, which means a lot of these workers are going to get massacred. Note that Dark is just continuing to pounce on any remaining army. He's hoping this game can snowball.
Yeah, he's going to snowball too.
Dark did it.
I'm really surprised that Curious completely committed down the ramp. I think he was probably dead no matter what, but that was pretty clear that he was going to lose all his units down there. But Dark takes that first game, forcing Curious down the tech path. Curious did not want to go down. Good play, but Curious just didn't know the Spire was even on the way, right? So it kind of forced him into a defensive spot for a while.
Curious looking a little bit discouraged here. He did beat Dark once already, but the scary part about Dark is that he adapts so well. He is downloading more and more information from his opponent in every game they play. And it almost seems like in that last game, Dark just knew exactly what to do from A to Z.
Yeah, he certainly did. A little curious.
Sorry, we're in the European time zone. A to Z, guys.
He does. I don't like Z. That doesn't make sense. Z makes more sense. Z?
Z, yeah.
What do you call it? Zerg? Like, come on.
Yeah.
It's Zerg. With the letter Z.
You got it right. You got it right, Artosis. Our next map is Proxima Station. Let's see what... Oh, hold on. Looks like we're going to have to restart the game. Dark has requested his break, which we do allow.
Yeah, maybe wants to just think about what strategy Proxima is going to be calling for here. Probably going into the bathroom to roll his 3-sided die to see when his pool gets made.
His 3-sided die. Oh, Artosis. I think that there is a good chance that Dark will end up winning this game. Even though Curious had a really good first series, I don't think that Curious has the same kind of range as Dark overall in ZVZ, in Z vs. Z.
I think that Curious plays a very strong, solid ZVZ overall, and Dark is a very thinking Zerg. He's very flexible and is trying to trick people sometimes more than other Zergs. So, like, for instance, that Spire, that was really nice. Like, Curious just didn't scout it. Everything looked very normal coming out of Dark. He was making a lot of roaches, and then, bam, 5 mutas. Oh, look at that. You have to make spores and kind of sit at home. He tried some harass, but...
The Hydras weren't that useful against that much Roach Ravager.
Yeah.
And slowly ran him over. So 3 out of the 4 games we've seen between these two, Dark has gone for hatchery before pool. Even though normally Dark goes for pool before hatch in most of his ZVZs.
Well, this map that we're going into, Proxima, is where he did the Zergling Rush previously against Curious and ended up winning. So, will he do that again?
Guess we'll find out. Dark will be back shortly at his PC, and then we'll be hopping into this game. By the way, if you've been watching us here at the GSL Codes, you should also be watching us at the ASL, which is the StarCraft 1 tournament we've been doing Guess we're in season 3 of that now. We've done 3 seasons, right? You'd think we'd know that, but we cast so much. It might be 4.
We did one.
You know what?
Last
to
year.
heck with it. Season 8 of the ASL.
Season 35.
That's right. And of course, we are going to be doing more of StarCraft 1 over here for StarCraft Remastered. So if you want to get a head start, wreck all your friends when Remastered finally comes out, join us.
Watch what the best pros in the world do.
That's right.
They all play on the ASL. And of course, NA time for our Saturday broadcast.
Yes.
1 p.m. KST, so that'll be Friday night for you people in North America, South America. Definitely check that out. And if you're in Europe, now you have to watch in the middle of the night.
That's right. Now you got to get to know what it feels like. I can't talk today. I'm having a hard time getting my words out.
This is how you always sound.
I think we're about to go back into this game. We are. I called it.
Wow, you're
Let's
so
go
good.
into game number 2. Curious versus Dark. A fight to move on to the round of 16 in the GSL Code S. In the bottom left in the blue, he is
Curious.
in the upper right in the red, he is
Dark.
Thanks for coming down, guys. Hope you're enjoying the games.
They are.
They
it's
are.
a good night. It's a very good night.
Maybe I should change how I say that. Maybe I should be like, thank you for coming down. You are enjoying the games. Mirror builds right now. Hatcheries for both players. Yeah, completely mirrored.
Tasus, if you were a Zerg unit, which unit would you be?
I would be an Ultralisk.
No.
You would be one of those broodlings that comes out of a dead building for sure.
I think you're more of a Hydralisk guy.
Would I be a Hydra? What would you be?
So. An evolution chamber. Clearly.
Well, right now they're doing the exact same thing, so we have to wait and see who deviates first or if either player does deviate.
Of course, that's it's ZVZ in StarCraft 2, so we watch that production tab, and eventually someone's going to make more lings. We'll see a lings pop up, it'll be 10. Like, oh, 10 lings. Look at that.
Okay.
I'd like to see this go really late, to be honest.
Yeah.
When you secure your third base and get a little bit bigger. We saw some ZVZs so far. Like, it's funny because the Korean metagame in this reverted very quickly to mostly just roaches with a few Ravagers, sometimes a little sneaky Spire coming out during that tech, right? And that's like basically what ZVZ in Korea is, whereas like you look over in Europe, for instance, they make a lot more infestors and stuff get into the later game. And really, when you look at some of these later game units, like try to attack with roaches into lurkers and see how that works for you. It just like you get slaughtered, right? And if you're willing to play a patient game, you can definitely utilize fungal growth and biles for insane advantages. But it's just kind of strange how the Korean meta reverted to just like, okay, we're being super decisive with Roach Ravager.
It's funny. It's actually in some ways similar to Brood War, where a lot of in Korea it was like always Ling Muta, and then overseas you'd see people experiment with like stuff like these Hydra builds. But it seems like at the very, very top, you're at least especially with Koreans, and Koreans are the best. It's very hard to be too creative. You're kind of forced into this.
Yeah, a lot of Korean play is so execution-based. It's just
very true.
Every player has top macro and micro, and just like will kill you if you screw up at all. Whereas I think that there's like the European and North American scene think more about, well, don't necessarily think more about strategy, but maybe it's the metas based off that a bit more. Anyways.
Artosis, we got 4 Banelings and a lot more Zerglings coming up here. This Wallen with the Queens is tight. Can the Banelings connect?
Well, they're definitely going to blow up eventually here. The Spine coming over and really helping out.
Oh, he got in!
Oh, my gosh.
He's been breached. The spine goes down, the queen goes down, and one more queen will go down as more banelings come through. Another queen surround.
Oh, God.
The drones are completely exposed.
He's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Oh, he doesn't even see it. Oh,
my God.
Well,
okay, well.
He could have done a lot better right
here we
there.
go. All right, just kill one drone. He's still going to win this game, though. There's basically nothing that he can do. He's going to try to send this one Bane down here and connect with this. He takes out the Lings. I think at this point in time, Curious is just processing this loss.
What a heartbreaking loss after actually beating Dark a little bit earlier.
Yeah, each of these drones too low on HP. Now, certainly Curious knows he's lost. He just didn't type it in yet. GG! Dark wins and survives to the round of 16, smashing Curious with a rush.
Yeah, a huge Dark fan there in the front row, really cheering him on. But that it was well done by Dark. Just breaks right through Curious, being a little bit too greedy, trying to go for 2-base Muta here on Proxima, and Dark punishing him instantly. So the two players that you would expect to go through to the next round do so, but not as one-sidedly as maybe a lot of people were expecting coming into tonight. Curious putting up a really great fight against Dark overall, going a total of 2 and 3 against him, and of course Super taking a game off Maru.
Yeah. Kudos to Dark. We expected him to move on, but we didn't know it was going to be this much of a bumpy ride. Had to get out of the losers match.
I am a little bit sad we didn't get to see Maru versus Dark tonight, but beggars can't be choosers. Time for the interview.
네, 이게 바로 임재덕
Congratulations.
선수의
Thank you.
위험인가요? 먼저 소감부터 들어볼게요.
사실 제가 패자조로
How do
내려갔잖아요.
you feel now after
네,
victory?
진짜 상당히 화가 많이 났어요. 제 자신한테
Well,
네.
너무
I felt a
못해가지고
loser match and I was really upset with myself.
이럴 거면 하지 말든가 진짜
네.
이런 생각까지 하고
네.
그냥 정신 차려서 좀 독하게 한 게 이렇게 승리의 요인이 된 것 같아요.
You know, I felt like if I play like this, I shouldn't have even started in the first place.
경기는
And I had to give myself a wake-up call.
싶을
Then I
정도로
focused on my
완전히
play and
다른
came
모습이에요. 거기서는 심리전에서부터 계속 밀리는
Says, yeah,
모습이었는데
you showed a
최종전
very different
어떤 게
performance
좀
going
달랐던
forward
것
from
같아요?
there.
그냥 경기하면서 제가 좀
What was the
부담감을
difference
많이 느끼더라고요.
between the first match and the final match tonight?
소극적으로 하게 되고 그런 식으로 하다 보니까 계속
Well, I had
지게
a lot of
되더라고요.
pressure
그래서
throughout the
그냥
games.
뭘 해도 질 거 그냥 과감하게 한번 해보자라는 생각으로 했는데 잘 먹혔던 것 같아요.
2세트에서 과감함이 최고였던 것
And I felt
같아요.
like,
자, 이렇게 해서 다행히
if I
16강에
end up
올라가게
losing,
됐습니다. 역시 꾸준한
you know,
박명수
I
선수.
decided to
이번에도
play
16강
aggressively and just do whatever I
진출을
wanted, and it
그런데
worked out
이렇게
well.
매일 한 명씩
So
저그가
now you've
올라가고
made it to the round of
있어요.
16.
네네.
저그가 지금 강한가 봐요.
저도 이렇게 될 줄은 몰랐는데
네.
저가
So every GSL day so far,
저까지
Zerg's
올라가서
been making it to that round of 16.
좀 놀라워요.
네. 그런데 확실히
And,
저그전
says, yeah, so far
원래
three
잘하긴
Zergs, including
하지만
myself. It's a
다른
little
타
bit
종족들에
surprising.
비해서는 조금은 불안한 게 사실이잖아요. 이런 저그에 많이 올라가는 이런 상황이 다가올 것 같진 않은데 어떠세요?
You know, compared to other races, it seems like your weakness
별로
might be
원하지 않고요. 이제
ZVZ.
저그가 안 올랐으면 좋겠고
So maybe you're not happy about all the Zergs making it
이럴
through?
거 없는 사람이 더 좋거든요.
네.
그냥 편하게 할 수 있어가지고
아,
그래서 저도 좀 이제 내려놔야 될 것 같아요.
네. 자,
Yeah, I
이제
hope that no more
조지명 씨
Zergs
정말
make it up
정말
to the next
기대가 돼요. 박명수 선수의 지난 조지명 씨
That'll help me to
정말
make it to
재밌었거든요.
a further round than the round of 16.
아쉽게도 이번에는 시드가 없어요. 그래도 원하는 구상은
Well, actually, you were the
찾을 수
MVP of
있잖아요.
group
이번에도
nominations last
가족
time.
같은 조지명 씨 하고 싶으세요?
아니요 그때 재미
And since you made it to the
때문에
round of 16, you'll be there once again for
네.
group
시드권이
nominations.
없어서 더
네.
좋은 것 같아요. 머리
아,
아프더라고요. 시드권이 있으면.
이번에는 그냥
And
어떻게 보면 누가 뽑아주는 대로
Not
가겠어.
sure about
약간
that
이런
last part.
마음이세요?
그것보단 그냥 일단 정치질을 해가지고
네.
좀 쉬운 조를 가는 게 좋은 것 같아요.
쉬운 조.
I feel pretty comfortable
예전에
about going on to that
그
stage once again.
조원들 다시 만나는 건 어때요?
And I'm going to try my best to be in an easy
저는
group.
상관없는데.
그래요?
네, 뽑겠다면 상관없는데.
Don't you want to make
네.
another SKT team?
좀더 가족 모임은 이제 높은 곳에서
네.
했으면.
알겠습니다.
No,
자,
I don't
박명수
mind to meet any former
선수 이번
teammates.
시즌은 임재덕상 수상한 만큼
But I'd
꼭
rather meet them
그동안
in higher rounds than the round of
16강의
16.
벽을 넘어서고 싶다. 사전 인터뷰에서도 밝혀주셨는데요. 이번에는 만약에 올라가게 되면 세레머니 화끈하게 기대해봐도 될까요?
일단 저도 하고는 싶은데 되게
네.
긴장이 많이 돼서
네.
So if you make it further than the round of
네.
16, which is like an
많이
invisible wall
올라간다면.
for you, will you have a winning ceremony that's fun
네,
for us?
알겠습니다. 그러면 16강 때 그리고 또 조지명식 때 좋은 모습
Well, I
기대해보도록
guess I could
하겠습니다.
prepare
다시
one.
한번 진출 축하드립니다.
감사합니다.
All
네,
right.
이렇게 임재덕
Bye,
선
Dark. We'll see
수상자
you in the group
박명우 선수
nomination.
오늘
Thank you.
C조의 두 번째 진출자가 됐는데요.
Well, this is fun,
자, 오늘 경기
Artosis.
모두 마쳤습니다.
We got the
최종
results
경기
we
확인해 보시죠.
expected, but they didn't come out. We didn't get to them the way we thought we would.
Yeah, I thought Dark might win the group tonight, to be honest, with how well he played against Maru the other day.
Dark never played Maru.
No?
Isn't that weird?
A little bit sad. But what can you do? Maybe they'll meet in the next round, or maybe they'll meet in the finals.
That would be cool.
Maybe they'll meet in the round of 8 or the round of 4, Tasis. I don't know. Maybe they'll
Could
both
be
be
anywhere.
eliminated last place in their group in the round of 16. We don't know.
Join us on Saturday. We have Alive versus Creator and Zest versus Gumiho.
Oh, that's going to be sick.
the
Alive.
makeup of Group D.
Alive, Gumio, and Zest are all so good. Creator, I think, is going to be eaten alive in this group. Eaten by Alive, indeed. I think that's... Creator is like, I mean, he's still a good pro gamer, but compared to these three monsters,
Yeah, I've been
I'm
curious
not
to
holding
see.
out too much hope.
I'm really wondering how Zest is going to perform overall in 2017. You know, we're still early in the year.
He is absolutely still one of the best Protoss in
Yeah,
the world. A
for
lot of
sure.
people try to act like he's fallen off. It's not really true. It's just other Protosses have gotten good. Zest, I think he can definitely make it out of there. But Gumiho is really scary right now. He plays a strong strategic game of TVP at the moment.
Both Alive and Gumiho are playing the best we've ever really seen. And that's
Absolutely.
saying a lot because these guys have been in the GSL since the beginning, and they've
Yeah.
always looked good. So it'll be fun to see how far they can actually get this season of GSL Code S.
Yeah, I think Gumiho even you have to include in the top 7 Terrans.
Yeah, I
And
think so.
that seems like a big number, but we have a lot of really good Terrans
is
right
true.
now. Like the 4 Horsemen Alive,
Yeah.
Ryung, Gumiho. That's like...
And right behind them, the Three Musketeers of Terran. So it's, wow. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That is at 1 p.m. KST. So definitely mark that down in your calendar. And then after that, we have the ASL on Sunday, 7 p.m.
That's right.
KST. Thank you guys for joining us. We love you. Have a good morning, afternoon, or night, wherever you are.